everyone, it's me, Lindsay, here today to talk about some tips on how to successfully recover from a shoulder surgery, whether that's a rotator cuff repair or a total shoulder replacement. All these tips are really geared to help you recover so that when you're in a sling for any period of time, you're going to be successful because it can be kind of tricky. So let's go ahead and jump right into our first tips. And those tips are going to come to you from the shower. After surgery, everyone is always so excited to come home and have their first shower, and you want those showers to be successful and comfortable, and sometimes that's not the case, and that can be fixed with just a few simple tricks. One of them being have a seat ready. I know your legs were not involved in this surgery, but I promise you having a seat is going to take so much pressure off of you, especially if you're painful, sore, maybe a little woozy from pain medications. Just in general, having a seat to take a rest break on throughout your shower can make such a difference. And if you have a seat, also having a handheld shower head. I like to keep one low so that I can again direct water away from the incision because it's a fresh incision. We don't want to be soaking it. So again, seated, having the handheld shower head, great place to start. The next tip, have an extra sling. A lot of folks will come home and they'll be allowed to remove their sling for basic hygiene, but that is not always the case. And for comfort, some actually prefer to keep the sling in place. It's also a really good way to keep you in that neutral position that your surgeon wants you in during those early phases of recovery. So have an extra sling on hand that can get wet. That way you always have a dry sling and a wet sling, one for every shower and every getting dressed afterwards. Now, another tip, always make sure you have pump tops. Now, it may not be something you think of, but when you're one-handed in the shower, holding a container to squeeze to get soap is not very comfortable or even possible depending on the size and the weight of the container. So simply having pump tops, buying them as pump tops, or you can buy pump top aftermarket to put onto your preferred shampoos, conditioners, and soaps. So make sure you have a good variety of pump tops to make sure you can get washed up. And then finally, long-handled tools. Not everyone will need long-handled tools for every task in the shower following a shoulder replacement, but having long-handled options can be really helpful if reaching up over your head is difficult, for example, to wash your back. This tool was actually developed by myself after watching a lot of people recover from shoulder injuries, and it bends, allowing you to keep your shoulder, the non-injured shoulder, in a neutral position for scrubbing your scalp, washing your hair, or flip it around, and it can be used for washing your body so you can reach back. Now, I have another tip here that actually comes from a ton of questions. It has to do with the long-handled tools. This tool was also developed by me, and it's a lotion applicator and kind of a multi-use tool. When you put this scrubber top on it, which it comes with, you can use this to wash your armpit. One of the most common questions I get is, how am I going to clean my armpit on the non-surgical side because I can't reach it? So this tool is designed to offer you an option for how to do that safely. Now, it's tricky to do one-handed, so you may want to set it up ahead of time, depending on whether you're allowed to use your hand. But as you can see, now I can put my favorite soap on there, and I can get the armpit clean on this side. So there's for the shower tips. Let's move on. Okay, so let's talk about dressing. This is one of the biggest challenge areas for folks recovering from shoulder injuries or surgery. So make sure the tip I'm going to share now is so important. Choose your clothing wisely. There's a lot of different variation in how people prefer to dress after surgery, but a few things are going to be really important following shoulder surgeries. One, make sure your pants, at least for the first little while, are elastic. Having anything with buttons, snaps, and zippers is going to be unfriendly for those first few weeks in recovery, especially because you're going to be doing most of your dressing one-handed. And when you use the bathroom every time, you're going to have to pull those pants up and down with one hand, which is shockingly hard. The other thing is make sure that you're wearing things that are slightly looser than what you would typically wear. You don't want form-fitting, you don't want tight. Those things are going to be difficult to get on and off, and they're just going to be fussy. Make sure that what you have on the top has a nice open neck. So like this, I have a V-neck where it's open. It's going to be a lot easier to get it up over my head. I have videos that show in great detail how to actually get dressed following a shoulder surgery, but these things are going to be really important. If you want to go the route of buying modified clothing specific for shoulder surgery, there's a few great options on the market. First off, for women, there's these bras by Spring Rose, and these bras are designed to actually be able to be stepped into. So you don't have to go up around the back, or you don't have to reach around, and they don't really cause any significant issues with that shoulder range of motion. It's one of a kind here. So it opens up nice and wide with this Velcro strap and allows you to actually step into the bra from the bottom up. Much safer and easier to do following shoulder surgery. The other tops I really like are these, which this is actually my favorite kind of modified top for shoulder surgery, and that is the Velcro tab. This actually opens all the way. If you are recovering from a surgery that has extremely strict precautions, i.e. you cannot take off your sling even for dressing, this is going to be probably your only option. So I'll put a link down below to where you can find these, but this is really nice. Not only does it have Velcro that opens up all the way down the side, all the way up the neck, but it also has these grabs that are inside, which can help you grab to pull your shirt around. They also make them with snaps, which are a little bit, I'd say a little bit more finished and polished looking, but my goodness, are these harder to get on by yourself. So if you have a second set of hands that's going to be assisting you with dressing, these tops that have the snaps in them look less modified than the Velcro type, so you can wear them out and not feel so noticeable, but they're going to really probably require a second set of hands to get them on safely. Another tip is going to be when you're using any sort of jacket, wraparound, sweater, anything like that, make sure you have some sort of reacher, or you can use a dressing stick. Now these may have come home from the hospital with you, or you may need to buy them ahead of time. And I've used these several times in other videos, as you can see, for how to get these around your shoulder safely. So if it's cooler weather or you just want to be able to get something around your shoulder, make sure you have a dressing stick. Another thing is if you're wearing button downs or zip-ups, having a tool like this. This is actually called the pocket dresser. It's a multi-tool designed to help you complete that task. So this is one of the tools in it, and this is actually designed to help pull a zipper up one-handed. It's really nice. It's also great for low dexterity. And it also has the button pull. So the button pull allows me to easily go in between the buttonhole, grab the button. This is hard to do like this. Let's see if I can show you a better angle here. But it is really pretty easy when you're wearing the top. You're just going to pull the button. And just like that, you can use the button pull to actually get the button through the hook, through the hole one-handed. So this tool is a great one to have on hand for your recovery window, and you may find yourself using it well after your recovery is complete. All right, so this next group of tips comes to you from the kitchen. So for a lot of surgeries, cooking is going to be difficult, but it is most difficult when you're trying to do it one-handed following shoulder surgery. So I want to make sure you have a couple of great tips to make sure that you can do the basics in the kitchen. First things first, meal prep as much as you can ahead of time. That's great advice for any surgery, but if you're going to be preparing yourself snacks and light meals and just getting yourself something to drink, you also have to have a plan. So first things first, how are you going to open containers? So there's several options. I really like the basics, which is a sheet of double-sided sticky silicone. This brand is called Dycem, D-Y-C-E-M. I'll link down below. This stuff is fantastic for laying on countertops to keep things from sliding around, but it's also great to push down into when you need to open a container one-handed like that. So having Dycem on hand is just great in general. I also like one-handed openers that mount underneath your counters or underneath your cabinets, like the Jiffy Twist. This one is great for opening stubborn containers, but it can also open even small containers like water bottles or Gatorade containers. All right, so the next one is for opening cans. I like to have a handheld can opener that's a push button option like this one by Kitchen Mama. This thing is great, and it's just a really good solid choice for being able to open cans without any stress, and certainly can do it one-handed. Now the next tip is for cutting. Another thing that's really hard to do when you're recovering is cutting up food. So I like a combination of things. First things first, you can get yourself kind of a fancy cutting board that's designed for one-handed, and what they have that makes one-handed cutting easier is they usually have these pegs on them so that you can place your food directly on it. It's not going to move around on you. And then I'm a big fan of these kind of curved arch blades. This is an ulu blade, but you can also find them under curved blade or whatever you want to use them for. They're usually pretty darn sharp. And then once you cut them, they are going to pivot on their end, allowing you to cut up really efficiently. If you don't want to spend extra, you can also use something like a pizza cutter. And these work pretty well as long as they're sharp. Ours has been used for pizza, so I didn't sharpen it ahead of time. But some people find that having pizza cutters or even kitchen scissors for cutting things up is a great alternative to a traditional knife, especially when you're doing it one-handed. And now for some of the most precious recovery tips, and that is how to rest and sleep, because you're going to want to do a lot of that following this surgery. First things first, you are not going to want to lay flat. It is very uncomfortable on the incision to lay completely flat, so a wedge or something that elevates your head consistently and it elevates that back and shoulder is going to be really important early on. I have a lot of folks who even rely on their recliner for early sleep because being upright is so much more comfortable. I like a wedge like this because it gets me stretched out in bed. It's a much more ergonomic position, and these wedges are so easy to get your hands on. So go ahead and check out the links down below for this exact one. I also recommend having extra pillows. I've done a very detailed sleep video on how to sleep position in multiple positions following a shoulder surgery, but one of the key factors is having extra pillows. You really can't have enough pillows or too many pillows for this recovery. I like to always have one behind the head, kind of keeping me in a comfortable spot using the wedge. And then for just back sleeping, I will often put one like this, just to kind of hold that elbow in position, and I just feel so much more secure, like I'm not going to accidentally roll. But there's a ton more information on how to sleep and how to use all those extra pillows in the video in the link down below. So there you have it, a whole bunch of tips on how to recover successfully from a shoulder surgery. Like I said, this is a tricky recovery, but you can do it now that you have all this great information. If you have questions or comments, please leave them down below. I would love to hear them. And if you need more information like this on how to stay safe and independent in your home and community, consider subscribing to Equip Me OT. Thank you.